That's the round after the meeting of the Monarchs. That's right, the clock doesn't stop when the final whistle blows. The meeting starts collecting autographs today. You guys out there jump on Charter, party at the other line while you wait for the Monarchs players to come out to meet you with some autographs. Zion Stadium offers plenty of options for you to satisfy the hunger in each corner of the stadium. Check out Eagles Grilled Burgers, hot dogs, and brats. Then head over to the Monarchs Stadium for pizza, chicken tenders, apple fries, corn dogs, and churros. Visit the Lamb Barbecue King to see which Mount Water meat they're cooking on each day. Options vary to see pulled pork, triton, ribs, and turkey legs. The only place to get freshly popped popcorn is over at our snack bar. You can also pick up some churros, nachos, pretzels, candy, soda, and water while you're there. Tonight we've got all you can eat.
Welcome into Zions Bank Stadium on this beautiful Wednesday evening midweek match in the USL Championship. David Horsheim, Landon Southwick, thanks for tuning in here on ESPN Plus. Tonight is an exciting one. Both teams are really looking for points, and it's a must-have point situation as we get late in the season, David.
There's playoff implications for both of these teams. Monarchs, they have to pick up their points at home, and Las Vegas, at some point, they have to start picking up points on the road. Their previous game on the road, they picked up 1 point, which is what they need to do. Can they come in here and do the same thing? But the Monarchs, it is absolutely vital for them to start picking up 3 points at home tonight.
And let's check out the standings in the Western Conference, and that really gives us a look at what's going on and how both teams are in that must situation. And we talk about it must with 9 games left for Las Vegas, but that's a spot when you're sitting in 14th, David, in the West. You need to gain every point you can, even if it's just a point on the road, especially since this side has not been great at winning games on the road. Only 3 wins all time in their history on the road. On the opposite side, the Monarchs, 24 games played, 36 points. 3 points tonight would jump them up to that 4th spot and really where they need to be, because this team's successful at home, and that would give them the home playoff game.
Definitely, and like you said, home playoff games are how you advance in the playoffs, and that's what the Monarchs need. Even though they've had home playoff games the last few years, they need that home playoff game because they are so good at home. And if they can get that, they could have a really successful run through the playoffs.
Let's toss it to our first break, and we'll be back with starting lineups shortly. America First Credit Union, ensuring the financial health of local families and businesses for 80 years. Tonight's match is presented by Steward Healthcare. Steward, world-class healthcare where you live. Visit steward.org. Mountain America, start preparing for your future today with Picture Perfect savings accounts from Mountain America. They offer term deposits, youth accounts, retirement savings, and more. Visit macu.com. For banking that always puts the best team on the pitch, Zions Bank is for you.
A lot can happen when your sidekick is a dog.
Hey, I got this.
That's why you use Zelle in the Mountain America app. It makes sending and receiving money fast and easy, so Kicker and I can keep the adventure going.
Zelle is now in the Mountain America mobile app. Quickly send and receive money from almost anyone with a bank account in the U.S.
Kicker, my sleeping bag.
I've got this.
All with the convenience and security of the Mountain America app.
Here at Zions Bank Stadium. Let's check out the starting lineups for both sides, starting with the visiting Lights FC.
Lights FC is going to miss a scoring of par. He's their leading goal scorer in the year, but Preston, who will be playing up top for them this week, he has done a very good job of filling in, but he has to play well, and he has to get on the scoreboard tonight. Also, look for Las Vegas on free kicks tonight. Their defenders that come up on those free kicks, they have 8 goals between all of them, so the Monarchs are really going to have to be wary of those guys coming up on free kicks.
Something to keep an eye on of this side. Hobbs making only his 2nd start of the season, so you have to wonder, does that play into this game, and see how they are defensively. Let's check out the starters for the Real Monarchs.
And quite a few changes tonight, as it's a short rest after only 3 days between their last game and tonight. So a few guys are stepping in. Christian Calix making his first start for the Real Monarchs. Can he make a difference in the central midfield tonight? And also a few guys coming down from the first team, and Tate Schmidt, Eric Holt, and Andrew Putna. Can these guys be leaders for this team and really propel them forward so they can start picking up 3 points at home?
And that's something we've talked about, David, throughout the season with this Monarch side. When players come down from Real Salt Lake, can they be the difference makers? Can they be the best player on the field as we get a look at tonight's officials? Gonzalez Jr. is our center referee. Jeremy Davis is our AR here on the near side. Callie Smith and our 4th official, Hamid Sadehi, is going to be downstairs below us here at Zions Bank Stadium. But like I was mentioning, that's a big challenge. Can they be the best player? Not just one of the best players. They have to be 3 of the best players on the field.
And it's not only about being the best players on the field, Landon. These guys have to integrate into what the Monarchs are doing. Now, the Monarchs, they play very similarly. Their culture is very similar to the first team. But still, these are guys that don't practice with them on an everyday basis. So how are they going to fit in? And really, I'm excited to see how they fit in tonight, because the Monarchs, the players that they have out there have done very well, and the first team guys that have come down are very talented as well. So how are they all going to mesh together and be successful tonight?
Las Vegas has a pretty decent record this season. 8-10-7 on the season. 14th, like we mentioned, 31 points. Monarchs 10-8-6. 6th place with 36 points. But where the interesting note comes, Las Vegas is not very good on the road. 1-9-3 as we're underway. They've struggled to get wins, especially on the road. Las Vegas going to be moving from left to right across your TV screen. Monarchs in their all blacks per usual here. Las Vegas in their mix of white, yellow, and blue with the mixed socks. Ball's going to go towards the corner, and Ryden's going to let it roll for a goal kick.
And I think that one thing we failed to talk about in the pregame, Landon, is that Thomas Olsen for Las Vegas has had 9 clean sheets this season, but they have given up 38 goals, which means in the other 16 games, they've given up 38 goals. So if the Monarchs can get an early goal tonight, Las Vegas will shut down, because when you get that goal, on average, they're giving up 2 to 3 more goals after that.
And like we mentioned, with a new keeper in that situation, giving up goals, especially on the road where you haven't been great, is going to be vital to keep that clean sheet. The longer you can go in this game, the more the Monarchs really get uncomfortable. We've seen at times this Monarch side has been very good at getting an early goal, but early on in the season, it was leaving it late, and it kind of got messy here at home.
Early on in the season, they were scoring that early goal, but they were not able to keep that lead. As the season has progressed, the Monarchs have done a lot better job of scoring that early goal and then holding on to that lead. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of growing pains with a younger roster, but I think the Monarchs have done a great job at learning and adapting throughout this season.
Ball being swung along the back line. Giveaway there, Martinez, recently signed by Real Salt Lake, and a big news for him is he signed a contract after last week's match.
And it's I believe it's very well-deserved. The way that he has played for this Monarch side this whole season, he deserved that first-team contract.
Eric Holt with the bad giveaway there, giving it right away to Las Vegas. Looking for players around him, but was kind of in no man's land as he ran forward. Sosa. He'll find Torres. Ball's out wide. It's going to be swung into the mix. And Putna collects as his eyes are in the sun, but brings the ball down nicely. Tate Schmidt's going to run up this near side. Powder's in more of an advanced position in front of him. So we'll pull it back to Portillo. Portillo, the former Real Monarchs man, now on a contract with Real Salt Lake, but having seen minutes here with this side throughout the season.
He was one of those guys from last season that he did very well, and he earned that first-team contract in the offseason. Now, obviously, when you got guys like Kyle Beckerman, Luke Mulholland, and Everton Louise in front of you, it's going to be tough to get minutes.
Passo's going to play it in, trying to find Martinez. It's going to roll towards the opposite side, and Powder tries to keep it in. The lights move forward. Giveaway there. Calix is going to go into the challenge. Goes in kind of lightly. And that's something he'll need to learn to build on, that strength going into challenges, especially in the midfield.
He's going to need, as a young player, you think that, oh, challenges are going to be light and easy. But no, at this level, everybody's coming in very hard. He's going to have to bring it in every tackle.
Sandoval puts it out wide, trying to find Sosa. It's out across the end line. Blake. One of the tactical moves we're seeing early on. Tate Schmidt sitting as the left back. Noah Powder sitting in that more advanced midfield role for the Monarchs. Hobbs.
I'm very curious with the injuries to the first team on the defensive back line, if maybe the left back is somewhere they want to try out Tate Schmidt, and this is a great opportunity with the Monarchs to try him there and see how he does.
Las Vegas definitely attacking that right side, or excuse me, the left side of the Monarchs defense early on in this match.
Well, really on both sides of this Monarchs back line, they have two very young, inexperienced players, but Hasso has at least played right back before. Schmidt really, I honestly don't know what his experience is at left back, but it can't be that much.
Powder's going to streak up here on the left side. He's trying to find Calix. Calix was on an offside position before that ball was played out wide and never fell back into an onside position. 5th minute of play, still scoreless here on this Wednesday night. 50-cent wing night here at Zions Bank Stadium. David's licking his lips over here.
Don't tell me that, Landon. I might have to disappear at halftime.
Monarchs 8-2-2 at home this season. We're seeing some wings right below us. Might be disappearing at halftime, David. Hobbs with the reset. Schmidt rises high. Wins first ball, second ball won by Lights. FC. Robinson. Swung along the back line. To Torre. Back here to the near side. In the midfield. Martinez checks in. Las Vegas kind of poking and prodding here in the 6 minutes to try to see if they can find any weaknesses in this Monarch side.
And I believe Las Vegas is doing a very good job right now at keeping possession. Like you said, they're poking and they're prodding. They're trying to figure out this Monarchs team right now because it's a different look with players in a different position. So Las Vegas is trying to figure out where they can attack successfully.
Schmidt heads it back to Putna. Nice directional header pushed back to him for the Monarchs to kind of reset things out of the back.
And you just saw Torre for Las Vegas look back at Hobbs and says, what are you doing? We've been keeping the possession of the ball and doing a good job with it, and you're going to kick it long. Hobbs has to be patient and composed and help his team keep the ball.
Putna. Whitney quickly plays it. Header won, but out of play by Sosa to Rose higher than Schmidt. And that's one of those things as a defender, David, former MLS champion. I have to say it. But that you've talked about before, that's pure frustration as a center back, as a defender, as your keeper isn't necessarily in the flow of the game, making sure they're understanding that you guys are trying to keep possession, trying to build something.
And we are working very hard as defenders to keep possession also. And then when you play it back to the keeper and he just gives it away aimlessly, it can be very frustrating. So the keeper has to do a better job tonight for Las Vegas of keeping control.
Ball in towards Martinez. And he knew he messed up on that one, but a good opportunity is starting to build up for the Monarchs.
And as you see here in the replay, Martinez, he sneaks between the two center backs, but when you're trying to head a ball that's not moving at a very fast pace and you're 18 yards from the goal, it's going to be very hard to get a good opportunity on goal. But Martinez, he's starting to find a little bit of space in between those Las Vegas defenders.
Blake picks up his head, trying to find Powder. Powder's going to get in a foot race. But Garcia is able to play it back to Hobbs. Heavy touch there. And Chang almost got possession. Monarchs win possession now. Calix in to Powder. Powder with the back heel. And he's been fancy like that most of the season. Jack Blake's going to be in an awkward position as he tries to get the professional foul. Still running at the defense. Opportunity here. Flags up here on the near side.
Oh, Preston is going to be very disappointed with himself when he goes back and watches this. He's in a great position, but takes a step too far. You'll see in the replay here, he gets himself probably just one step too far beyond Eric Holt.
Another opportunity on goal, and it's a goal here in the 9th minute of play. Torres with the goal. And that is not the way this Monarch side wanted to start at home.
And I think you saw it previously in that last play in the midfield. Jack Blake looks like he might have some tired legs from the game on Friday. And right now, the Monarchs, they look a little sleepy in the back. He gets in behind Eric Holt, gets a great shot on goal. Putna's not able to get the full hand to it, just the fingertips. And that's a fantastic finish from the player.
And that's one of the things, if you're Las Vegas, that you would love to see an early goal here at Zions Bank Stadium. Make the Monarchs chase the game here at home.
But now, as you can tell, Preston's the only guy forward for Las Vegas. By getting that early goal, it allows Las Vegas to sit in a little bit more and play tight defensively.
Flags up on Chang on the far side. As you can hear from Matt Glazer, play simple. Not something you're seeing from this Monarch side. It really has been disjointed, except for the opportunity of Martinez where he split the center backs. It really hasn't been a unified attack or defense.
And that's already 2 or 3 offsides for the Monarchs. Mentally, what is going on tonight? You know, they're putting themselves in good spots, but they're getting themselves just beyond that defensive line, and they're offsides. That's lazy attacking right now, Landon. They have to see that line, and they have to keep themselves on sides because they've had quite a few good opportunities, but they've been offsides every time.
Las Vegas 1-2-2 in their last 5. Their last game, a draw against Tulsa. Torrey scored the goal in the 62nd minute. Hobbs.
Kevin, you gotta be better. Come on.
Gets the header to Lopez, but wasn't kept in. It'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs. Right, back to Putna. Putna, over to Holt. Portillo. I hope he can start to pull the strings and start to figure out things. Heavy touch from Powder and a rough challenge there by Garcia Lopez.
Now, that was great work from the Monarchs. Las Vegas, they got themselves a little bit stretched out. And in the replay here, like you said, Noah Powder takes that heavy touch. Las Vegas coming in hard. Hey, it's a hard tackle. That's all it is. He's coming in for the ball. It's a hard tackle. Powder's got to take a better touch next time that doesn't happen. But it's a hard tackle. Referee keeps control of the game.
If you're a Lights player, it's one of those things you give an opportunity to the Monarchs to see, hey, we're in this to win it. We're not coming in here just to sit in.
They're here to play. They're putting in hard tackles. They're running. They got an early goal. They're here to play tonight.
Schmidt.
Go, go, go.
Right now, Las Vegas looks like they have a little bit more sense of urgency about them than the Monarchs do.
Which is interesting because I know a lot of players from this Monarch side were pretty frustrated after the 2-2 draw here on the weekend. It just didn't feel like enough. The side felt like they did quite a bit, but gave up a goal after they scored one right off, and it just felt like it slipped through their hands.
But that's one of those things is when you have that situation, there's a little bit of an emotional hangover, and I think you're seeing that right now with the Monarchs is, yes, that was a hard game. They should have won that game, but it was a late goal to tie things up, and right now they're still down in that hole, and they're trying to get themselves out of it.
Ryden's going to rise on the second one. He'll win the second ball. Calix will defend. He's able to put some pressure on Martinez, but he'll go out for a throw-in. Flag was up for the Monarchs. Calix winning the throw-in. Handball was the call. You can see your head coach, Eric Rinalda, telling no, it was right in front of him. Holt into Blake. And the defense, David, looks a little disjointed. I don't know if it's the center backs or the change out wide, but something's not clicking in this defense for the Monarchs so far.
Well, really, you have 3 new guys back there between Steve Hasso, Tate Schmidt, and Eric Holt. This is a back line that really has never played together before, so it is going to be a little disjointed, but that's where Kalen Ryan has to step up and be a leader, and we've seen him do it week in and week out, but tonight's going to be even bigger for him to step up as a leader.
Foul called in the midfield. Chang will be whistled for the foul in the 14th minute of play. One of 4 games going on around the around the USL Championship tonight. Be a reset for Hobbs. Hobbs. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. So you're seeing Portillo's down. A little bit of jostling in the midfield. Having some words.
And that's your Monarch captain right there, standing up for his teammates, and that's what you want to see from a guy like Jack Blake. Souza comes in, little out of control, showing the bottom of his shoes. That's going to get you a yellow card every time. But I like that Jack Blake right away standing up for his teammate, letting these lights guys know, hey, you do that to my teammate, you're going to have to deal with me as well.
Yeah, and one of the things we knew that was going to come, a yellow card was going to be sooner or later. We saw one, a tough challenge, albeit on a bad touch by Powder. But those things, once that happens, you can't go back.
That's right, but I like seeing this from the lights, and I never want to see hard fouls. As we see here in the replay, Souza, he shows the bottom of the shoe, and that's what gets him into trouble. But these guys are here to play, and they're letting the Monarchs guys know that. The Monarchs, they have to pick up their level now. They have to match the intensity. They have to match the desire of Las Vegas, because Las Vegas right now, they're setting the tone in this game, Landon.
And when you come out and score a goal in the 9th minute, that affords you a lot in the run of play.
Preston, more!
Portillo. Bad giveaway there to trying to find Blake. Putna's going to come racing out. He'll play it high and long. Trying to find Powder. Powder's going to rise up. He'll win the header, but unable to direct it towards a teammate. This game's pretty wide open as we're going side to side so far. Like I mentioned, Torres scored the goal in the 9th minute, assisted by Sandoval. And that's the game's only goal so far. 16th minute of play. One of the things you're seeing from Las Vegas as well, David, is pretty compact defensive lines. They're staying pretty clean together as their two blocks.
And when you score that early goal, it allows you to do that, Landon, because now you don't have to step out of your block because you're not chasing the game at all. You can sit back there. You can allow the Monarchs to have the ball at half field because they're not dangerous at half field. So now Lights say, all right, go ahead. You keep the ball right there. We're going to stay in our line of 4 and our line of 5, and we're going to be really hard to break down. And as you saw there, they did a fantastic job of that, and the Monarchs just gave an easy ball away.
Earlier this week, Sousa said this is probably one of the most critical moments in our season. You're kind of seeing they're playing with a little bit of that urgency, that it really is critical for them.
And the fact that you have a player coming out and saying that means is that Coach Ronaldo has been preaching that to them all week long, and it has worn off of them because they are showing, like you said, they're showing that urgency right now. The Monarchs, they have to step up and match that desire.
Monarchs are 4-3-2 under James and Alave this season as interim head coach after he took over from Martin Vasquez. Calix trying to get involved in this game. Calix dispossessed by Sandoval. And he just doesn't look like he's ready for the pressure that he's had so far as he's gone into a weak challenge, been stripped from behind as well tonight.
And I'm fine with him being a young player, and he's a little bit small in stature, and he's getting pushed off the ball. I'm absolutely fine with that, but I need to see a better reaction from him right now. Right now, as soon as he's getting touched, he's throwing his arms in the air and looking at the ref. If he loses the ball, I want to see him immediately go press the ball and try to win it back and not throw his hands in the air. So we need to see some better reactions from Calix in the midfield.
Chang settles, picks up his head, looking for the big switch. Trying to find Powder. Powder's going to head it back to Schmidt. Schmidt to Portillo. Blake into Chang. Chang into Powder. Powder, shot towards goal! And it's going to go wide. And collected by Hobbs, as that really just didn't have enough on it. I wonder if he was trying to put it in the path of Martinez, as Martinez was rushing forward, defended nicely though.
And as we take a look at the replay here, finds a great ball, and it looks like, I believe, Powder's trying to find Martinez on that run because it's an awkward angle to try to get a header in that back post, but Martinez was just muscled off the ball just enough by the Lights player that he wasn't able to get to it. But that's what we want to see from the Monarchs, a little bit of life right now. Can they build off of that?
That was Torre who gave a nice little shove there to Martinez to keep him from winning that and putting that in the back of the net.
Go on, Gabe, go on, why not? Just find Preston in the corner. Kevin, leave it! Nice going. Find Torres. Find him. Left hit.
We're seeing a few comments on social media. It's only 1-0 in this game, not 4-0.
Maybe it was like indoor soccer when if you scored beyond the blue line, it counted for 2 goals.
If you had a female player, multiple goals, that's 2 goals, right? Co-ed indoor. Most of these guys would be over the 3-touch rule, though.
That is one thing that I am excited for in retirement, Landon, is to play in a co-ed indoor league.
20th minute of play. Reset coming from Andrew Putna. This is his 8th game, 3 clean sheets. 11 goals conceded in those 3 games, or 7 games, excuse me. Make that 12 in 8 games, including tonight.
Back further. Get up for it. Stay wide. Easy right here. Easy right here.
Chang picks up his head. Chang, shot on goal, just pushed over. If he maybe had that towards one of the corners, it might have had some more eyes for goal, but a nice looking opportunity there from Chang as he had to insert himself into the game.
But great work from the Monarchs. They find Chang on that opposite side of the field where he's one-on-one, and he gets himself in a good spot and gets a great shot off. Now, I don't know if I want Michael Chang taking shots from 25, 30 yards out. I'd rather see 18 to 20, but starting to see some more life from the Monarchs.
It'll be the first corner of the match coming for the Monarchs. Jack Blake gonna step out to take it on that far side. Calix pulled out with him. Keep an eye on Ryden at the top, just at the PK spot. Multiple players just along the 6. Ball's gonna be floated in. It's gonna fall towards Chang and skip right over his left shoulder.
Lito, same deal, stay.
Be a throw in here for Lights FC. Big throw in there. Pushed over to Hasso. Holt.
Come on, hey, fucking clean it up.
And the passing just seems uncrisp. That's a couple times where we've seen those simple balls that are just played too far out in front of players.
It's just that little bit of sharpness right now that the Monarchs are lacking. And you heard Mac Laser stand up and let them know that, hey, this is not good enough. The Monarchs need to pick up their level right now because, like you said, it is not sharp. Everything's just a little too slow right now. The movement, the passing, the Monarchs, they have to pick up that level to match the Lights.
Give the Lights credit so far. They've really kept this Monarchs team on their heels, really have not looked composed all night long.
And what we talked about earlier is you take a look right now, this snapshot is the Lights are sitting in the block of 4 and a block of 5, and they're doing a great job of being difficult to break down.
Powder cuts in, keeps it on his foot just a touch too long. The Monarchs are dispossessed. They'll win it right back as Preston was up top, unable to win the header over Ryden. Both players took a little bit of a lick there.
We take a look at the replay here. I think Souza gets the worst of this. Schmidt takes a little bit of a heavy touch and comes in with the hard tackle, but Souza got to the ball a split second before Schmidt and gets the worst of it.
It'll be a free kick for Lights FC. Possession 65-35 for the Monarchs.
And I believe that the possession statistic is a product of the Lights scoring so early because they're able to sit back. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Monarchs back 4 has the most possession tonight because the Lights don't need to step out and press them right now.
It is definitely a product of that early goal. And it's one of those things that affords you. And the Monarchs really don't do well when their backs are up against the wall at home, as you're seeing an opportunity. Martinez trying to get around the center back. Martinez will be called for the foul. Looks like a shoulder-to-shoulder challenge, but we'll get a replay look at that and have to see if it really was even with shoulders. Both players about the same size as Martinez is going to plead his case to our center referee. the last second as he turned, it was kind of one towards the back a little bit.
To me, it looked like the Las Vegas player was already going down to the ball landed, and I think Martinez might be a little hard done there by the referee's call, but referee made decision. Got to move on.
Torre won the foul. It'll be a reset for Hobbs. Holt wins the first header. Second ball won by Martinez. Unsure of where it was in the air, though. Cruz. Sandoval. It'll be swung along the back line. Looking to play here near. Ball's going to be swung here as Chang's going to rush under it. Chang plays it in, takes a deflection, and it's kind of awkwardly dealt with, but Las Vegas able to clear it with the first ball. An adjustment, David, you're kind of noticing is the Monarchs are making some shifts in the midfield, trying to find who can be that kind of 10 to pull the strings. And it looks like Powder now is sitting more in the middle, Chang out here on the near side, and Calix out on the far side.
It looks like they're trying to give Las Vegas a different look right now, and I believe that Powder's going to shift himself back out here to the left, and Chang's going to take his position in the middle, but they're just trying to change something up right now to get some life into this attack.
Head coach Eric Rinalda for Las Vegas Lights, one of the American legends.
Scored the first goal in MLS history.
He's there, one of the guys. You're getting a good look at him and on your screen as well as interim head coach for the Monarchs, Hamas Alave, and also an MLS legend in his own right here with Real Salt Lake. In his second stint as interim head coach is a bad giveaway there for the Monarchs. But definitely the switch really is there. Calix now playing in that wing position with Chang sitting right behind Martinez. And we've seen him be fruitful throughout the season as that number 10.
When the Monarchs have needed somebody to step up and be that playmaker in the middle, Michael Chang has done that. We're 26 minutes into this game right now, Landon. Can Chang bring to life this attack a little bit more than what was happening early on?
Chang and Martinez is going to get another run, dealt with nicely by Torre. But one of the things I was going to say, 9 goals and 4 assists for Chang. So he's capable of providing service as well as scoring goals himself, as we've seen him test the keeper so far tonight.
And over half of those goals have come when he has been in that 10 spot. So he is very dangerous there and can make things happen. So can him and Martinez have that relationship and get the Monarchs on the board here before half?
Hasso to Blake. Into Powder. Looking to wide out to Calix. Calix going to run at the defense. Finds Blake. Blake tries to open it up.
Yeah, get out, Tate. Good.
Portillo into Chang.
Keep going, Tate. Keep going. Your work, Tate.
Tasso's going to play some nice defense there on Cruz, forcing him to try to get around him while holding the hands up high to make sure he didn't commit the foul.
Great work from the young player to put himself in a good spot to win that ball back right away.
Chang into Powder. Powder trying to play it across the box, but defended out for a corner kick. It'll be the second corner of the match for the Monarchs. Portillo will take the corner here on the near side in the 29th minute of play. Calix out near him. Portillo plays the short. In, Chang, shot! And that was definitely off the training ground. Chang just got it caught onto the spokes.
Great play from the Monarchs and so close to pulling it off. As you see in the replay here, Portillo plays it short to Martinez, just a little layoff to Chang at the top of the box. But the spin on the turf got him, and he wasn't able to finish it.
Calix rises high, trying to get on the end of that cross. And picked up by Hobbs. Hobbs going to take all of his time. Sandoval settles in the midfield circle. Torre. Las Vegas stringing together some passes here. Big switch to Robinson. It's Garcia Lopez is here on the touchline. Sandoval checks in from the midfield. Now it's going to be another big switch to the opposite side. Cruz.
Great work from Las Vegas there to
Shot from distance and kind of punched away from Putna. There's not a bad looking opportunity there from Lights FC.
excellent patience and composure from every single player out there for Las Vegas. They're able to move it from side to side, get the ball a little bit forward, find that space, 1-2 the midfielder, and then dribble forward to get a good shot.
Another shot from distance, wide of frame, but Torres puts that one left of frame. But you have to like them challenging the Monarchs midfield. If no one's going to step, they're going to take a shot from distance.
For whatever reason, right now, the Monarchs, they're sitting a little too deep, and they're respecting the speed of Preston up top for Las Vegas. They have to set those lines a little bit because they're not putting enough pressure on the Las Vegas back line.
Robinson's going to see yellow as he tugged down Martinez, as Martinez was trying to go forward on the attack. Yellow card to Robinson here in the 31st minute of play.
But what I was saying is that if the Monarchs can get their lines up a little bit higher, they can put pressure on that Vegas back line, and they're not able to keep so much possession and pick the Monarchs apart. But if the Monarchs keep sitting back, Las Vegas is going to have all the time in the world to do that.
Portillo with the quick reset. Schmidt into Calix. Out wide to Powder. Powder takes a heavy touch. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the championship in League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Ryden, big switch there. The problem with some of these big switches is they're not driven balls. They're more of a floated long ball and take a lot of time. And Las Vegas is doing a good job making sure they're under it, making sure they're not getting an easy settle.
Well, with the way that Las Vegas is sitting back, it allows them to have the time to settle underneath those big switches. But if the Monarchs are going to rely on those big switches to unlock the Las Vegas defense, it's going to be a really long night for the Monarchs.
Calix trying to find a floated ball in towards Martinez. Holt steps up to gain possession for the Monarchs. To Jack Blake. Starting to string together some passes. This Monarch side. Schmidt into Portillo. Portillo to Martinez. Chang, the nice Maradona, inside to Calix. The ball is just too far out in front of him. But I like the idea as they're starting to figure out maybe where those passing lanes are opening up.
That's much better from the Monarchs. As you see here, Chang trying to find that ball over top. A couple times now they've tried to find that runner in the back post, but the ball has just been a little bit out of their reach. But much better possession sequence from the Monarchs. They were a little bit more patient, and they were trying to pick Las Vegas apart. Now, the next time they have that same type of sequence, can they move the ball a little bit quicker and not allow Las Vegas to get themselves set in defensive positions?
And that's one of those keys, get teams where they're uncomfortable in their position, where they're not completely set, where they're not, the defensive lines are not holding up as one. And we've seen that from Las Vegas. That goal put the Monarchs in that exact situation. The Monarchs really haven't been able to do that, maybe except for the opportunity that Martinez had earlier on where he split the 2 center backs. Ball's going to be swung along the back line. Robinson. In, Schmidt applies some pressure. for the second ball won by the Lights FC. They've just really been able to connect passes even with some of the pressure, as the Monarchs already look like they're going to make their first substitution as Luis Arriaga is up jogging to get in this game. 35th minute of play. Monarchs still trail after that 9th minute goal by Las Vegas. Preston. Sousa. Being pushed around nicely. Sandoval, as that possession stat is changing in favor of Las Vegas here in the last few. It's going to cross the end line. It'll be a goal kick for the Monarchs.
Excellent sequence there from Las Vegas, but they need to have a better end product. They can't give an easy ball away over the out for a goal kick there. Can they get an opportunity on goal there? But the Monarchs, they look like they're a step slow right now, Landon. They're second to everything in the midfield right now. They're being very reactive and not very proactive.
Calix trying to play it forward. I think he thought Martinez was up there, but no one to be found as Hobbs easily is going to play it to his feet and then pick it up. Torres. Inside to Sandoval. He turns, opens up, and he'll find Robinson.
If you take a look at this Monarchs defense right now, they're extremely stretched out, which allows Las Vegas to pick them apart. And that's what Las Vegas is doing. The Monarchs, they got to get themselves set in their blocks and then be quick and the first person to the ball to make tackles. As you can tell, second person to the ball there, and it's a foul. Still Las Vegas ball.
As we're going to see our first substitution of the match coming here in the 37th minute of play. Christian Calix's night's going to be done as Luis Arriaga is going to check into this match. Calix goes off the far side. And Arriaga stepping on this side.
And I believe this is going to allow Chang to shift himself back out wide, Landon, and it's going to let Luis Arriaga sit in the 10 spot where he usually plays, and it allows Chang to go back out to his normal position.
It'll be a throw-in for Lights FC. Just across the midfield stripe. Monarchs win that one away, no foul called. Martinez holds up nicely. Trying to find Portillo. Chang's pass was cut off. Ball out wide. Swung inside the box. Ryden clears it. And then Powder gets the final true clearance of the ball. Blake, he'll go forward. Martinez just was in a spot where he was kind of starting to turn on the slowdown mode to push out wide and open up some space, but Jack Blake was trying to think he was going to go forward. Headed. Dealt with nicely by Preston. Preston is going to go towards Ryden the grounds, and he'll win that one away.
And really, that's the first time I've seen one of the Monarchs players put in a tackle like that tonight. We're 38 minutes into the half, and Kalen Ryden is the first person to do that. Can we see that? Can we see that from a couple more guys? Kalen Ryden trying to push his teammates on tonight because he knows right now it's not good enough from them in this half, and he's trying to get them going.
Robinson here with the big throw. Is he's going to put this one inside the 18. Robinson, big throw, flags up here on the near side. It looked like...
I'm going to assume the sideline referee is calling a foul and not an offsides because there's no offsides on a throw-in.
I think he's calling a foul, I believe. I believe you're correct on that one. As you correctly stated, no fouls on an offside. Or excuse me, on a throw-in. Or no offsides called on a throw-in.
Go, Christian! Go, go! Sosa, go!
Schmidt, back to Ryden. Portillo's inside the box, and bad giveaway there. Lights with an opportunity. Disjointed Monarchs. Went to ground pretty easily, it looked like, but maybe a call for a foul. Is Arriaga trying to find Martinez, but unable to slip it behind him. Tune into ESPN 3 on September 11th at 8:30 p.m. for an electrifying edition of Wednesday Night Soccer. High-flying Phoenix Rising FC heads to Las Vegas to meet the lights and action-packed Western Conference Showdown. See it all September 11th at 8:30 p.m. Wednesday Night Soccer on ESPN 3. Be a good one for Lights FC and a good opportunity to try to see if they can do some damage to this Phoenix side that has already qualified for the playoffs. Only team in the league to clinch so far. Portillo. DeSchmidt. Back to Portillo. 41st minute of play. Arriaga going to get a run towards it. But Torre's there. Holt applies some nice pressure.
No.
The midfield looks pretty composed as Portillo is going to be called for the foul of Las Vegas so far. They've really controlled that kind of midfield third. Did you get a replay look at that? Portillo knew exactly what he had done.
And when players are stepping late to balls and the tackles, you're able to control the midfield third because you have the time and you're controlling it. This is where I was talking about the Monarchs. They need to be a little bit more proactive in trying to read the game and figure out where the next pass is going to be so they can get themselves there.
Ball out wide, pushed into the box. Ryden rises high to push the header away. No one at the top of the box for Las Vegas. The Monarchs with possession. Chang to Jack Blake.
Monarchs a little too slow trying to go forward here. You can hear Eric Ronaldo yelling at his team to get back behind the ball. And as you take a look here, Las Vegas does a great job in getting 9 players behind the ball. And now they're tough to break down. And the Monarchs have to go backwards because they're not able to go forward.
Preston applying some pressure up top, and you can hear that from Eric Ronaldo screaming for him to apply pressure, get up top, and make things uncomfortable. And we've seen a situation where Putna one time got caught holding the ball a little too long, so you'd hope that was the learning experience and doesn't have to repeat that tonight. Martinez settles in the corner. Can he get a cross into the box? Tries to find Blake. Blake settles! Shot, but deflected, and that's a PK. Looks like it might have taken a deflection off his hand, as we'll hopefully get a replay look at that, as the Monarchs are going to have a PK opportunity here in the 43rd minute of play and an opportunity to square things up.
Fantastic run by Douglas Martinez in behind the defense. And Douglas Martinez, he realized, hey, if I'm not in the middle and I'm out wide, there's nobody else in the middle. He does a great job of getting that cross back towards the top of the box. As you see here in the replay, it goes back to his midfielders that are rushing onto the ball instead of into the middle of the box. And
so it was before Blake got it. It came off, or it came, from his touch off the player's arm, not on the shot. But nonetheless, Monarchs going to have a PK opportunity here in the 44th.
Great work from Martinez to put himself in that spot and play a great ball into the box to give the Monarchs this chance.
Hobbs yet to face a PK here in 2019. Jack Blake going to step to the spot. Blake calmly puts it away! Jack Blake with the goal! As the captain levels things up here in the 44th. Calm, cool, and collected. He might even be cooler than the other side of the pillow. He steps up and buries that PK, sends Hobbs the opposite way.
Great finish from the captain. Now, can he get his guys going as they go into the second half here? This gives the Monarchs a little bit of momentum going into the second half, but can Jack Blake, as the leader and the captain out there, can he keep them going?
The second thing you have to wonder is, with Hamas and Alave making such an early substitution, is this formation really going to be conducive to allow the Monarchs offense to continue putting their foot forward and see if they can find a second? Arriaga right in the area. Ball goes back to Hobbs. Out wide here to Robinson. Robinson's going to take his space. Trying to get it around Powder. Powder does a good job defensively. Chang going to get on his horse. Chang trying to get around the defense. De La Fuente is there. Does a nice job to clean things up. De La Fuente coming back from an ACL injury a few games ago. Stoppage time is going to be announced here shortly by our fourth official.
But the Monarchs, they have a little bit of pep in their step right now. From that goal from Jack Blake, the Monarchs, hey, they've woken up a little bit here in the last few minutes of this first half.
Stoppage time will be officially announced right now. 1 minute of stoppage time. As Powder tries to win the challenge, but gives it away. Ball pushed out wide. And Hasso kind of took a second guess to get there. A lot of space here on the near side as Portillo's going to recover. Ball on top of the 18, Cruz. Cruz tries to get around a defender. Pushes it wide to Martinez. Martinez going to float it back post, but the ball was not good enough.
The young defender's going to have to learn that, hey, if you're not 100% going to win that ball, you can't go for it. Let the Las Vegas player receive it, and you push him back towards his goal. But great learning opportunity. They were not punished for it. I think the next time Steve Hassel's in that situation, he won't make that same mistake.
And that's one of those things you have to think about as an outside back. If I'm going to go in, and sometimes it's worth giving up the yellow card even in a situation like that to kill that counterattack, but he hesitated, took that second, and then realized that he was beat and tried to grab jersey, but the ball was already moving quickly. As that's halftime here at Zions Bank Stadium, 1-1 as the Monarchs get the late PK to level things up on a goal by Jack Blake. But really the aggressor tonight, David, so far has been the Lights FC. Lights so far with a few players that are just causing a little bit of havoc for this Monarchs defense.
I've been extremely impressed with the way Las Vegas has come out in this first half. They have kept the ball. They've done a very good job of having possession with a purpose, and they've been able to break the Monarchs down. And then on the flip side of that, Las Vegas has been able to sit in two defensive blocks and be extremely hard to break down. They didn't give up a goal in the run of play. They gave up a penalty kick. So can they keep that same stalwart defense in the second half?
We're going to toss it to our first break of this halftime. Monarchs are tied with Las Vegas Lights 1-1. America First Credit Union, ensuring the financial health of local families and businesses for 80 years. Tonight's match is presented by Steward Healthcare. Steward, world-class healthcare where you live. Visit steward.org. Mountain America, start preparing for your future today with Picture Perfect savings accounts from Mountain America. They offer term deposits, youth accounts, retirement savings, and more. Visit macu.com. For banking that always puts the best team on the pitch, Zions Bank is for you.
Okay, people, it's Ford Truck Month. And you know what that means. The best deals on America's best-selling trucks for 42 years straight. And with over 28 million sold, isn't it time you joined the stampede?
Now get a Ford F-150 with 0 for 72 financing plus $1,000 trade assist cash, or get over $13,000 in total savings.
Brody inside the team. Brody shot and a goal! Andrew Brody!
Blake takes the shot, and he hammered it home.
A lot can happen when your sidekick is a dog.
Hey, I got this.
That's why you use Zelle in the Mountain America app. It makes sending and receiving money fast and easy. So Kicker and I can keep the adventure going.
Zelle is now in the Mountain America mobile app. Quickly send and receive money from almost anyone with a bank account in the U.S.
Kicker, my sleeping bag.
I've got this.
All with the convenience and security of the Mountain America app.
For the past 42 years, and with over 28 million sold, more people have put their hard-earned money on a Ford F-Series truck than any other pickup in America. Yeah, I'd say that's money well spent. It's Ford Truck Month, America. Time to join the stampede.
Now get a Ford F-150 with 0 for 72 financing plus $1,000 trade assist cash, or get over $13,000 in total savings.
On top of the box, strikes it true, back of the net. Oh, what a finish, Bustamante.
The attempt at an amazing goal. Or maybe a goal of the year candidate from Rodrigo da Costa. And here we go again. Kadima! Oh, what a strike.
Has been in the 11. And there's an effort from distance with Irving off his line. And that's a goal for the highlight reel there.
Oberg there. Plua, shot, goal! Plua with the bicycle! Conrad Plua!
Dillon goes for goal. Oh, what a strike from Justin Dillon! St. Phil. What an opportunity for Joe Gallardo. A brace, and it's 4 goals for the Richmond Kickers. Mikey Rowe now. Rowe takes it on, and it's in. What a strike! And Tormenta. Very patient. Here's Bermudez now back on his left foot. A curler for the top corner. Oh, what a goal! Bermudez. Run. Torre will shoot. Oh. He will score! Javon Torre! Let's just say that you walked in. Oh, something! Something's done! Oh my goodness! Lubin, what a save! Outstanding individual effort. They stand together.
A lot can happen when your sidekick is a dog.
I got this.
That's why you use Zelle in the Mountain America app. It makes sending and receiving money fast and easy. So Kicker and I can keep the adventure going.
Zelle is now in the Mountain America mobile app. Quickly send and receive money from almost anyone with a bank account in the U.S.
Kicker, my sleeping bag.
I've got this.
All with the convenience and security of the Mountain America app.
We're back live here at Zions Bank Stadium. 1-1 is our score, and a game that's been really interesting, to say the least. Both sides really kind of feeling out each other out, but quickly Las Vegas jumped out to a 1-0 lead in the 9th minute. Then the Monarchs really were on their heels the rest of the half until the PK.
Well, because Las Vegas jumped out to that early lead, it allowed them to sit back in their 2 defensive blocks, and they were very hard to break down. So it gave the Monarchs a ton of possession, but the Monarchs, they were getting into the attacking third a lot, but there was really no final product from them. They were bailed out from a referee's call, and they got the goal from a penalty kick.
Let's check out the scoreboard around the USL this evening. Indy 11 with the 1-0 victory. St. Louis with the 1-0 victory. Atlanta United got smashed by Birmingham Legion 5-0. And Tulsa's leading El Paso Locomotive 1-0 at the half. So a few games, and one that has playoff implications with Tulsa and El Paso playing here in the Western Conference. The rest on the Eastern Conference, except for that game coming up with Phoenix. So a few games of note as we look again at standings and how this really sits. And we'll talk about this here in a second with the storylines. But the Western Conference, besides those first 3, is very, very tight from 4 all the way down to 14 where Las Vegas is sitting. So points are of the essence tonight for both these sides as well as many other teams in the USL Championship.
I believe that this is a bigger game for the Monarchs because they are at home and they need to pick up points because they do not have an easy road schedule going forward. If Las Vegas gets a point on the road, that is fantastic for them. But the Monarchs, they need to start picking up those points now when they're at home.
And as you check out the USL, players or team of the week, and now the player of the week, Nico Brett, 2 goals in their 4-0 victory for the Riverhounds, and he had himself a solid game, winning about 50% of the votes for player of the week. He's one of those guys that's played well this season. So we're looking back live at that standings graphic, but I want to talk about that for a second, looking at storylines here in a second. 4th place to 14th place, only separated by a handful of points. And there's really a struggle for these sides to claim every point possible. And we talked about it. The Monarchs are not going to be satisfied with the 1-0, or excuse me, the 1-1 tie here. They want all 3 points because they want to win. They want to win a ring, like on your finger. They want to win some hardware. I know they got to look at that before the pregame. I mean, look at that shot, modeling that MLS ring from 09. But these guys aren't just satisfied limping into the playoffs. They want to be a strong team because they've limped into the playoffs in the past and haven't had success.
That's right, and we've talked about that before, the fact that they have started season strong but have, like you said, limped into the playoffs. Can they do the opposite here this season? Can they finish the season strong and have that momentum going into the playoffs, and not only have that momentum, but have home field advantage as well? Because it doesn't matter how much momentum you have, going on the road anywhere in the USL is extremely difficult.
And the Monarchs haven't been successful about going on the road this season. It took them like 2 months to get their first point on the road, and now they're kind of settled in, but that's something you're going to have to take advantage of, points on the road. And you may only, if at this point, may slip into that 4 seed, get a first home playoff game, but after that, not guaranteed anything.
Definitely, and when you have such a young roster as well, it's even harder to go on the road. So you got to pick up these points tonight at home. It is so vital to get those now. Give yourself a little bit of a cushion, and then when you go on those road games, you can make mistakes. You might pick up 0 points here or there, but these points at home give you that cushion.
As we're back underway here at half, as the second half starts. Look to check if there was any substitutions at the half. We're all level at 1. Hasso trying to get around that one. Now he'll have to track back. Ball played in towards Schmidt. Schmidt's going to head it over to Holt. And Holt will play it back to Hasso. Looks to be the same 11 as left the field for this Monarch side. Luis Arriaga making the substitution appearance for Christian Calix midway through the first half. And that's not something we've seen with Hamas and Olave very often, making early substitution, as Chang's going to get on the end of this. He's towards the corner flag, trying to play it across, trying to find Arriaga, or maybe Martinez, but the ball wasn't in the spot for either of those guys. Quick restart from Lights FC.
And one thing I'd like to see from the Monarchs in this second half, Landon, is a little bit more urgency. Move the ball a little bit quicker. Have that sharpness about you, like you want to be out here tonight. I have a feeling that at halftime, Hamas and Olave, who's an extremely intense coach and person, he probably laid into them a little bit to try to light a fire under their butt. So can we see that from them here in the second half? And for Las Vegas, can we see the same thing that they did in the first half? Strong defensively, and then keeping that ball offensively and trying to break down the Monarchs. They did a great job of that in the first half.
And if you're Eric Ronaldo, David, you know he wants that same urgency that they got in the first 9 minutes, that goal to come, see if they can find an early second half goal to really put the Monarchs again back on their heels. Giveaway from the Lights FC. Powder. Back to Schmidt. Schmidt's played 45 minutes tonight as a left back. Not something we've seen from him. Not something that I believe he's probably played in a handful of years. As he was played at the University of Louisville. I'm not Southern, so I don't say that correct, but good 4-year career for the Cardinals. Stanford's Cardinal.
Well, he was a Cardinal.
Hasso, an academy product, to Chang. Back to Hasso. Eric Holt, another one of those draft picks with Schmidt this season. By Real Salt Lake in the MLS Super Draft.
Good. This was something we did not see from the Kalen Ride in the first half. He's driving into the midfield, trying to get the Vegas players to step to him.
Martinez inside the box. Shot towards goal! And pushed up over the bar as it didn't look dangerous, but he really created an opportunity to have nothing.
As we take a look at the replay here, Martinez gets to the end line, cuts it back. Las Vegas thinks he's playing that ball across, but gets a great shot on goal and just a tad too high. Hobbs does a great job of getting his fingertips on that and pushes it over the bar. But that entire attacking sequence starts with Kalen Rydden. He drives forward with the ball, which forces the Las Vegas Lights players to step to him, which creates those holes that he can play Martinez in then.
Corner kick coming. Portillo will take the corner kick. Lost it in towards Rydden. And just wide of frame as he wants that one back, holding his head.
You don't see the Oklahoman miss too many of those, do you, Landon?
Not one bit.
Does a great job here in the replay of getting that header down like you're supposed to, but must be a breeze out there and it pushes it just wide.
A bad look from the Monarchs here in the second half if they've got moving. Misspoke a few minutes. Tate and Holt, homegrown signings this year. 20th and 21st player homegrown signings by this Real Salt Lake organization. Ball out wide from the Lights. Played inside the box. Hasso's there. Doesn't connect with it, but it's going to go out the opposite side. Throw in Monarchs. Lights going to try to press them in and keep it in their own half. Ball back towards Holt, to Putna. He plays it high as Martinez is going to battle, but a good job there by Torre. Chang, ball up over top. Chang settles nicely. Chang inside the box. Shot pushed away by Hobbs. And I don't know if Hobbs necessarily even pushed that one away. He was reacting and it went off the body.
Unbelievable first touch here on the replay from Chang. You don't see much better first touches, but Hobbs makes himself big like you're supposed to in that situation, and he pushes the ball over the goal. But fantastic touch from Michael Chang there to put himself in that position.
Monarchs with 2 quick corners here in the second half and 2 opportunities. Can they capitalize and find the go-ahead goal here in the 51st? Portillo. Inside the box, Rydden again with the header, but this one a glancing header. Out for a goal kick.
But we're already starting to see a little bit more life from the Monarchs at the start of the second half here. That is something we did not see from them in the first half.
That life was like a halftime breath that they must have caught, because these guys are moving with more energy as well. And maybe the breath was coming from Hamas and Alave.
If I have Hamas and Alave yelling in my face at halftime, you better believe I am going to pick up my game in the second half, Landon.
Guy still looks like he could play in this league and be very efficient. Header one. Preston tries to get around Holt. Holt goes to ground. Didn't look like he caught much of the ball, if any, and he'll be shown yellow here in the 52nd minute of play.
Now, as a young player, he's going to learn when you have a guy going towards your corner flag, you do not have to go to ground there. As you see in the replay here, the Las Vegas guy, he's not dangerous in this situation. Eric Holt has it under control, and he goes to ground and puts himself in a dangerous position. Now, for the next 40 minutes of this game, he has to play with that yellow card on his record.
And went right through Preston, as you saw, didn't get any ball. So he went right through the ankle of Preston. There'll be a free kick coming for the Lights FC, a short corner essentially.
If he stays on his feet and keeps pushing him to the sideline, he is not. Preston is not in a dangerous position. But now the Lights have a dangerous free kick here.
Ball whipped inside the box. Headed and I think was last touched by Las Vegas. It'll be a goal kick for Putna. Monarchs going to try to quickly move forward, but it's going to be pulled back by our keeper. His Powder was down inside the box. I think he's checking on him. You got a nice, beautiful view there of the Ochre Mountains to the west. Handful of clouds. Some of them smoke-induced clouds, as we have a handful of fires here around the state of Utah today. Blake does a nice job to win in the midfield. Gets it out wide to Chang. Chang's going to run at the defense. Cuts in. Big switch there, trying to find Powder. Nice little header into Blake. Hasso. Here on the near side. No one checks to him, so he'll elect to go back to Holt. Schmidt with the heavy touch, able to keep possession. Portillo opens it up. Holt's not the player that wants to be running forward. Quickly looks for Jack Blake. But we'll get the ball back. Powder opens to Arriaga. Wide to Schmidt. Back inside to Arriaga. Hasso making a nice run. He's got a lot of green in front of him. Heavy touch. Volley inside the box. Cleared away. Chang applies pressure. Chang. He's going to get a shot off. Takes a deflection. Schmidt again with the second touch. But it'll go wide. But you like that if you're Monarchs head coach Hamas and Olave, that things are starting to look up. You're taking opportunities. You're looking at goal and applying pressure when you lose the ball.
Guys look like they have a lot more energy in this half right there. I mean, you didn't see the left back on the top of the 18 in the first half, but Tate Schmidt, he's in the right spot to pick up that rebound. A little ambitious on the shot, but I like it because it shows that life from the Monarchs.
Second and third ball won by Lights FC. Preston tries to go around Holt, and Holt has to be cautious. Now he knows Preston has some speed, can get around him, and he's sitting on a yellow. Throw in for Las Vegas. Just in front of their own bench. Robinson will take the throw in. He's got a long throw in. Look for him to put it again inside the box. Huge throw in. Holt heads it away. But Las Vegas still threatening. Powder gets fouled by Garcia Lopez, and it'll be a restart for the Monarchs. Looks like we'll see our first substitution of the match coming from Las Vegas. Monarchs take the reset. Hasso looks inside to Martinez. Ball was to his outside foot when he was looking for it in his inside foot. Looks like Victor Rojas will be our substitution here at the next dead ball.
But much better pressure from the Monarchs in this half. As you can tell already, that front three for the Monarchs is much higher. They're putting pressure on Las Vegas 70 yards up the field, whereas in the first half, they had one guy forward, and the Las Vegas was able to pick them apart and play through them. But in this half, there's more pressure, and the center backs and the outside backs for Las Vegas, they do not have time to play.
And you like the pressure. You like seeing something different. The Monarchs are really showing that they want to be a part of this game. And I really think that PK was a huge difference in this game. It really made it so the Monarchs aren't playing just on their heels.
The last 5 minutes of the first half are so critical because whatever happens in that last 5 minutes, it gives that team the momentum going into the second half. And I think right now you're starting to see that momentum pay off for the Monarchs.
Free kick coming as Portillo was fouled. Looks like they're trying to adjust the board at the midfield stripe to get this substitution in. Sousa. His night will be done, sitting on a yellow card from the 15th minutes as Rojas, the Venezuelan 5'10" midfielder, is going to check in for him. Rojas spent time playing in Europe, Portugal. Back here with the Lights. Holt. Portillo's going to check into the back line to receive the ball. Powder coming towards him. Monarchs going to try to cut off some angles. Excuse me, cut off some defenders. Back to Putna.
Good patience from the Monarchs here. They have to keep moving the ball quickly, though. They have to keep moving the Lights players around and try and find those openings.
Chang finds Holt. Looking forward to Martinez, and they've put him in a lot of foot races. And it really has not been conducive to the way he likes to play, as he's very good at receiving the ball and turning to find space.
That's an okay ball over the top, but I'd like to see a little bit more patience from them. Can Eric Holt, can he keep that ball instead of trying to find Martinez in a foot race into the back line that may or may not win the ball for them? Can the Monarchs keep a little bit more of the ball and poke and prod and find those weaknesses?
Possession 59-41 for the Monarchs. Duels were pretty much dead even. Aerial duels, Monarchs with the lead 65-35. Corners 4 for the Monarchs, 0 for Las Vegas so far in this match. Other than that goal, there really hasn't been too many opportunities for Las Vegas, even though they've been pretty patient. Just not much of the final product. Putting it to Holt. To Portillo. Ryden's going to move forward. Ryden. Still with it. Arriaga checks into him. Portillo opens up the hips, trying to find Jack Blake. Jack Blake feels like he's had a shadow most of the nights. Hasso with a bad giveaway there. I think he thought somebody was right near him as Preston's going to get a run towards goal. Flag stays down as Preston gets it out wide. Defended now by 2. Preston goes towards the touchline. Holt there to defend it. And Lights FC will win their first corner of the evening.
Very good partner defending there from the Monarchs. Eric Holt, he slows the guy down, allows Steve Hasso to come back. When Preston makes his move, Eric Holt's able to easily win that ball. Unfortunately, it goes out over the end line and gives Lights FC a corner kick, but very good partner defending from the 2 young players there.
Corner kick coming from Las Vegas. It's going to be swung in from the near side. Right-footed corner coming. Ball played towards the near post. Hasso defends it. Kept in. Preston, second opportunity. Still on top of the 18. Pushed away by Schmidt. Kind of got on that half bike to clear. Light still threatening. Ball put back inside the box and multiple players unmarked. But the ball's a little too long for Torres.
As you see in the replay here, the Lights, they find those channels in between the back line of the Monarchs, and they're able to exploit them. Unfortunately, the ball just a little too long, and they're not able to capitalize on it.
Monarchs kind of jumped out quickly in that second half, but here in the last 5 or so minutes, Las Vegas has really settled into this second half, even getting a few opportunities, and like we mentioned, their first corner kick of the match.
Las Vegas did an excellent job of really weathering that storm of the first 15 minutes. The Monarchs, they came out with a lot of energy. They had a fire underneath them, and they had quite a few chances, but the Lights did a great job of weathering that, and like you said, they're starting to settle in now and find more of the ball.
Chang. Defended by 2, trying to get it back to Hasso. Hasso taken down by Sandoval. But a giveaway there by De La Fuente, the captain. Arriaga. Martinez gets it back to Arriaga, out wide to Chang. Runners getting in the box. Chang picks up his head in towards Jack Blake. And the opportunity goes up and over as he felt like he got taken out inside the box as he was rushing in to take that one.
Foul or not here, Jack Blake puts himself in a great spot at the top of the box and is not able to get all that ball.
But you like that he's coming up. He's one of those guys, too, that you need. If him and Chang are firing and playing well, this Monarch side really moves and plays well.
But that's the type of commitment right there that you want to see from your guys. Commitment like that is what wins games, and Jack Blake has shown on the penalty kick that he got, on that play right there, he has that commitment to make the runs into the box.
Arriaga. Over to Ryden. And the Monarchs go forward. Ball in to Martinez. He settles. Shot towards goal. And wide, as he just didn't have the final angle.
That is such a hard shot when you're going away from the goal, Landon. And you see in the replay here, great ball in, but his touch takes him away from the goal, and he tries to get that ball back across. The best players in the world struggle with that. But Douglas Martinez did a great job at getting it back across the goal.
And give him credit, a lot of times when you're falling away and moving away, you don't have enough power on it. He was able to put some pace on it, just not enough on frame. It's one of those where you have to almost hit it with the outside of the foot to get that bend around the keeper. Very, very tough to do. Hobbs. Ryden wins the first header in the second ball, but plays it out. That'll be a lights throw in. Still knotted up at 1 here at Zions Bank Stadium on this Wednesday evening here on ESPN+. I'd like to thank all those of you tuning in, whether you're here locally in the state of Utah or whether you're in our neighboring state of Nevada, down watching in from Sin City. Hasso to Portillo. Vans USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its talents. Local talent compete at the highest levels across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Corner kick coming for the Monarchs. Portillo's going to trot out to take the corner kick. And we've seen a couple opportunities from Kalen Ryden. Is this his chance to put one away here in the 67th? Ball swung in. Ryden rises high. And another one glances off his head. And one of those tough ones, if you're not quite there, getting power on it's going to be impossible. That one just slipped over his head.
The ball's just not low enough for him. As you can tell, he's on his way down as he's winning that header. And that is such a tough ball to put on goal. He gets his head on it, but it's just not dangerous enough.
Hobbs. Holtz wins the second one. Ryden kind of ping-ponging around. Sandoval to Preston. Slides through to Torres. Sandoval back to the captain. Inside the box, Sandoval tiptoeing it and puts it on frame, above frame. Well, it looked to be a toe poke. So we're seeing a substitution. One of those dangerous men here from Las Vegas Lights. Pereira coming on, 10 goals this season in 22 appearances, 5 assists. He's one of those guys that you'd love to see if your head coach, Eric Ronaldo, coming onto the pitch. Can he be the difference maker? Because he's definitely capable. As De La Fuente checks out, the captain. As we'll see an adjustment defensively, as Torres will slide into the center back role alongside Robinson. And one of those things we haven't got to talk about, but 4 games in 11 days for this Las Vegas side, starting with tonight. So you can imagine Eric Ronaldo trying to see if he can shift his squad a little bit and try to figure things out, as that's a corner kick given up.
it's one of those situations where you really have to start tracking players' minutes, especially at this point in the season. And like we talked about all night now, all these games are critical for them right now. So he has to manage the load of these players so that he's getting the best out of them over the next 11 days. And that's not always the easiest thing to do, especially when you're traveling all over the West Coast, you're playing on turf fields, you're flying in the back of the plane, you're not eating the best food. Like, it's very hard, and I think people need to understand that.
69th, Portillo. Ball swung in. Chang there gets a touch on it, but cleared by Lights FC. Looks like it could be a head injury. Waving on the trainer for Las Vegas. You're going to replay look at that. Oh, definitely caught each other square head to head. One of those things that the USL Championship doing a nice job of making sure they're cautious of these head injuries and taking care of them how they need to be taken care of.
And we saw a very dangerous one in the game on Friday night with James Moberg of the Monarchs. And thank goodness he has come out of it all right, but it was such a scary situation. But the training staff for the Monarchs did an excellent job of taking care of him. Right now he's in concussion protocol, and he'll be back soon.
Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the championship and League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Reset from the Lights. Header won by Pereira. He's getting his first touches of the match. Schmidt. More of an experimental role. I know we've mentioned that if you're just tuning in. Schmidt not necessarily a defender or even an outside back, but tonight playing in that left back position for this Monarch side. Jack Blake. He's going to have green grass in front of him. He opens it up to Chang. Chang has Hasso overlapping above him. Blake picks up his head, puts it inside the box to Arriaga, back to Blake. Blake gets a shot towards goal, and Hobbs collects.
Much better combination play from the Monarchs. As you see in the replay here, Blake into Arriaga. Arriaga lays it off. Blake, just not enough of an angle on his shot, but that's the combination play you want to see on top of the 18.
Powder trying to find Chang. Chang was not feeling that one. Slows up, but gives the thumbs up to Powder. Hasso had him kind of pushed in. Chang comes to help apply a little more pressure. Martinez. Rush forward. Holtz rises. Wins the header, but no one in the midfield for the Monarchs. Ball out wide. Las Vegas going to swing it along their back line. Robinson. De Torres. Ball played in. Schmidt trying to recover. I think he's calling a handball. Because it looked like Rojas kind of fell, slipped, and touched it with his hand.
Very unlucky from Rojas there, because if you don't slip there, you might have Schmidt on the turn, and he's right in front of goal, and he could have given Las Vegas the lead.
Schmidt to Ryden. Las Vegas having used all 3 substitutions. Monarchs used an early one in the first half. But have 2 remaining substitutions. Schmidt looking for Arriaga. after a deflection will make it to him in the 74th. Martinez gets dispossessed. Lights running with numbers forward. Pereira towards goal. Pereira is going to take it long, and a nice kick save there from Putna.
Great save from Andrew Putna. A tough angle here as you see Pereira gets himself in a great spot. Now, that ball might have been going wide, but as a goalie, you can't take any chances. Putna does a great job of getting that right foot hockey save. Kick save and a beauty, right, Landon?
Yeah. You know, Las Vegas fans can appreciate that. They now have an NHL team. Corner kick coming. Inside. Glancing header towards back post. And put up and over the bar. Man alive, they have the pace there from Pereira. Just couldn't guide it towards frame. And if you're Hamas, and you've got to be wondering what changes you can make with this side now that you're really back on your back heel again. Looks like we're going to see a substitution here momentarily. Portillo to Blake. He'll get it back. So combination play out wide to Chang. Blake inside the box, trying to find Martinez, but a good diving challenge there by Torres to keep that one in front of him and not slipping through to an on-rushing Martinez.
Fantastic run from Martinez here. As you see, he slips in just between Torre and Torres, but Torres, like you said, gets his toe on that ball and saves a goal.
Preston, he's going to run at Hasso. Preston shots collected easily by Putna.
Now, as this game wears on, Landon, can the Monarchs take advantage of being at altitude? Las Vegas is coming from not very high area, you could say, but the Monarchs have that advantage of the altitude. As the game wears on, will Las Vegas get tired, and can the Monarchs keep wearing them down and just apply the pressure until they break and get that second goal?
You can't be content if you're Hamas and Olave to get your second straight draw here at Zions Bank Stadium, especially as there's only 9 games remaining in this season.
But moving the ball slowly around the back is not going to get the job done, Landon. It's got to be sharp. It's got to be a purpose to every single pass, and you got to start wearing Las Vegas down, because right now that ball's moving too slow, and Las Vegas, they're not expending a lot of energy playing defense.
And the ball, like you mentioned, that's going to be a key. If that can be swung along and moving, the energy will start to drop, especially knowing that they have 3 more games in 11 days.
Exactly, and if the Monarchs can start to wear them down as you get into the 85th, 86th minute, that's when your opportunity will be to score.
So we got some cramps going on. Monarchs are going to make a substitution here. As Lights FC trying to make some changes. See if they can adjust tactically to deal with what the Monarchs are going to adjust here momentarily. Coffee coming on for Noah Powder, as Noah Powder's done after 78 minutes of play. And the Monarchs are going to have to make a slight adjustment as Coffee's coming on, more of a forward, and we'll see if they maybe move to more of a traditional 4-4-2 or how this will play out for the Monarchs. As Cruz is up. As Las Vegas has used all 3 substitutions. So this is one of those situations where if he can't go, you play with 10. She and Eric Ronaldo have a conversation with him. Try to figure out where he needs to sit to not be a liability either way.
Sometimes it's all about having a little bit more gamesmanship. Yes, some people hate it, but it's a part of the game. And if you can do something to help your team while you're in that situation, that's what you want.
Portillo picks up his head. Trying to find anybody open wide as Coffee settles, gets his first touch of the match. He's gonna go at the defense for a second, back to Blake. Blake swings it in, nice dangerous ball, but dealt with well by Las Vegas.
Las Vegas is going to be extremely hard to break down, Landon, because they're clogging the middle. And as you can tell here, Jack Blake plays in a great ball, but there's 4 or 5 Las Vegas players sitting in the central part of the 18, and it's going to be very hard when you have 1 or 2 guys going against 4 or 5 defenders. Can the Monarchs do a little bit better job of breaking guys down with combination play in and around the 18?
Portillo. Ball driven in towards goal and off the post. Martinez almost found himself the go-ahead goal. Monarchs quickly take it. Chang, I think, get a try for the big throw. Put it in towards Coffee. Coffee gets the head on it. Counterattack coming from Lights. Coming towards goal. And a shot and a goal! Preston with the goal here in the 81st minute of play as he just went straight towards goal and found the back of the nets.
Excellent textbook counterattack right there from Las Vegas. They pull in the young defender. He misplays the ball. And as you see, Preston, burner down the sideline, and a calm, cool finish into that back post. And Las Vegas takes the lead 2-1 with about 10 minutes left here.
Give them credits, man.
We talked earlier in the half about Steve Hasso stepping late to balls. On the counterattack like that, when you are one of the last defenders, you cannot step to the ball there because that is what happens. You miss it, and it gives Las Vegas a chance to get in behind with numbers up. If you're going to step in and win that ball, you 100% have to win that ball, Landon.
Chang, can the Monarchs respond? Ball inside the box, trying to find Martinez. As Hobbs collects. And has a few seconds to try to slow things up.
But once again, the Monarchs, they shouldn't need a goal to light a fire underneath them. They should have that desire and that commitment the whole half. Don't wait until the other team scores to start playing again.
They've reverted into kind of that first half feel as we saw early on from this Monarch side. You have to wonder if the substitutes like Kyle Coffey can make a difference. Ball's inside the box. Monarchs deal with it. Coffey's gonna be taken down. It'll be a foul on Lights FC.
The Monarchs, they need to understand there's only 10 minutes left. Put the ball down and play.
Martinez to Coffey. It'll be out for a throw-in. As Cruz is behind the play, still trying to stretch things out. You can tell he's still dealing with those cramps. If you're 3 points will make those cramps go away real quick.
If you're Las Vegas right now, put Cruz high, let him occupy the 2 center backs for the Monarchs, and then allow the rest of your guys that can still run and have energy sit behind the ball and play defense. And Cruz, just stay high. You can't really do anything right now, so stay high, occupy those center backs, allow the guys to sit in their blocks and play hard defense.
83rd minute of play. Holtz plays it out. It'll be a Lights throw in. And now time is starting to be of the essence for the Monarchs. As Las Vegas is going to take their sweet, sweet time. +6 minutes left in this match. Looks like a player down. He went into the
Now, this is an injury, but he is off the field, so the game should continue.
A little tussle between a few players as one of the players went into Schmidt. I'm not sure what's to be angry about. Schmidt was shielding off the ball. The play's going to continue. Tune into ESPN 3 on September 11th at 8:30 p.m. for an electrifying edition of Wednesday Night Soccer. High-flying Phoenix Rising FC heads to Las Vegas to meet the lights in action-packed Western Conference Showdown. See it all September 11th at 8:30 p.m. during Wednesday Night Soccer on ESPN 3. So our player is up on the opposite side of the field trying to make his way to midfield. Blake inside to Hasso. Hasso trying to get it back to Blake. Blake plays it in, but headed away by Lights FC. Portillo floats it into Martinez. Martinez brings it down. Looks like he caught it with his hand. As he'll argue that.
Excellent defensive work from the Lights there. They stay strong in the middle of the field, and crosses come in. They're able to win them and get the ball out. They're not getting drawn out of their defensive lines right now, and it's really starting to frustrate the Monarchs.
Hobbs. Header won by the Monarchs. Ball forward. Martinez is going to give chase. Headed out of play by Robinson, who's sitting on a yellow card that he picked up in the first half. 86th minute. Monarchs trying to find the equalizer. Chang's going to get it out wide into Schmidt. Falls back to Schmidt. And a corner kick will be won by this Monarch side. We've had a handful of opportunities on a corner kick, 6 to be exact. 7th tonight. Can you find and capitalize on an opportunity here? Portillo. Put in. Ryden heads it. Still inside the box. Preston almost going to get a run forward. And Hasso got bailed out on that one. Ball's out wide. Pata out wide. Plays it inside the box. As Preston goes down inside the box, Hasso was there defending him.
Once again, you need to understand the situation, and you cannot commit yourself to a ball or have a bad touch in those situations because it's going to give Las Vegas counterattacks, especially when you have all of your players forward on a corner kick.
Martinez. Battling with Torre. Chang. Portillo. 88th minute. Coffee. Out wide to Martinez. Martinez driven ball. He'll win the corner kick. Not exactly where he wanted to put it, but you'll take the corner kick. 8th of the match for the Monarchs. Portillo will play it from this near side. Monarchs with 1 substitution remaining. Portillo inside, headed up, still inside the box. Hobbs collects. Hobbs gonna stay down. So our ref will
the person that runs the league in the game is getting a cramp? Is that what's happening here, Landon?
Looks like he came down as Chang was trying to avoid a couple players in that spot as we'll get a replay look at the corner kick. Ball was headed straight up by Torres.
The one thing you gotta love about this Las Vegas team right now is the conviction and the commitment that all the players have defensively to preserve this lead. All the way from the forward back to the goalie, they're all committed to preserving this. And really, when you are fighting for a playoff spot, that's what you want to see from your team. Eric Winola has done a fantastic job in preparing his team for their game this week, and it shows on the field tonight.
And at this point, they're prepared to walk away with all 3 points. Hobbs still kind of shrugging things off. It didn't look that crazy when he came down, but he seems to be struggling with it. Our trainer's getting pushed off to the side. So Hobbs going to take another 10 yards or so. Stoppage time will be announced here shortly. You can imagine it's got to be alone just because of that play, a handful of minutes. Preston, he'll go towards the corner. You can hear that from Eric Ronaldo. Hasso goes through the challenge there. It'll be a corner kick by Lights FC, or excuse me, a throw-in.
And I think in any situation now, as you see here, Hasso touches the player just a little bit, but he's going to milk it for everything it's worth right now. You heard Eric Ronaldo say earlier on, kill the game, and that requires a little bit of gamesmanship from everybody on the field.
Stoppage time is going to be announced here shortly. Portillo opens it up, trying to get Chang on his horse. His stoppage time is going to be announced. 6 minutes of stoppage time here in the second half. Ryden brings it down with his chest. Keeps possession for the Monarchs. Blake. He'll open up, finding Coffee. Coffee has Torrey in front of him. He's going to go at Torrey. He gets it back. Shot up on goal. But was over frame.
As you see in the replay here, Kyle Coffey does a great job of cutting across the top of the 18. But when he goes back and watches it, he's going to be so disappointed in the final product that he has. He knows he should have done better with that shot.
Hobbs. This will be a huge 3 points if Las Vegas is able to kill this game off. It'll be a foul. And a free kick coming for the Monarchs. Portillo. Take the reset. Monarchs going to throw a hand, almost everybody forward.
You have to throw everything in the kitchen sink, the mascot, everything forward in the box right now.
Ball inside, headed away. Blake settles. Jack Blake to Coffee. Out wide to Chang. Chang clips it into the box. Runners forward. And Monarchs unable to capitalize. Holt into Portillo. This game's really open here as the Monarchs are throwing numbers forward. Ball back. Schmidt's going to try to keep it in. He's able to keep it on the touchline. Nice job by Las Vegas to get there. Jack Blake wins the throw-in. Ball will be played back to Hasso, unofficially through 2.5 minutes. Blake to Arriaga. Schmidt plays it inside the box. Chang there. Chang shot on goal.
That is the one guy you want on the ball in that situation is Michael Chang. Wide open on the back post here. Just not able to place the final product. Gets a great shot on goal, but he has to pick out a corner there.
Ball's going to trickle all the way back to Putna. Almost through 3 of our 6 announced. Coffee is going to settle in the corner. Picks up his head, finds Chang. Chang inside to Blake. Blake! And a deflection, there'll be a corner kick coming. Monarchs going to quickly take it. Michael Chang out for the corner. Hasso, the only man back besides the keeper. Chang puts it inside the box, can't beat the first. Portillo. Turns, Hasso gets it back. Chang's gonna get another opportunity to recycle this one inside the box. Puts it back, stick, Ryden there. And it looked like it took a deflection.
Now, yes,
give Las Vegas credit.
You want to hurry up here on the corner kick, but it has to be a quality corner land. There's no point running over there to take a quick corner, and then you don't clear the first player. Portillo has to clear the first player here.
Portillo, he'll swing it in near the near post. And a challenge, Hasso was going to have a 1v1 situation. Ball rolls out on the far side. Looks like it'll be a Monarchs throw-in. Arriaga, back to Hasso. Portillo. Pushed in towards Chang. Ryden settles inside the 18. Ryden looking to Martinez, rises high and up and over the bar. As you can see a replay, look at that, just not quite there, as Hobbs is gonna see yellow for time wasting here in the 94th plus. Essentially the 95th. Hobbs. Portillo wins the ball to Arriaga. Coffee out wide to Chang. Chang gonna run at the defense. Chang inside to Arriaga, flips it back post. Still kept in. Be another throw in for the Monarchs. Can't be much more than 45 seconds or so. Hasso, heavy touch there. Goes into the challenge. Ball played back stick. Ryden's there to Blake. Blake shot, goal! Jack Blake at the death! Not sure what was going on there, but a yellow card's gonna be shown. We have a handful of different players down on the pitch, and I think yellow card shown to Douglas Martinez as the Monarchs get back one late in the match, as there is frustration all over the pitch. As you can see a replay, look at that one.
And the one guy, the leader, the captain, he steps up in your time of need, and he slides it in the back post. Great finish from Jack Blake when the Monarchs need him most in this season. That could really be a turning point here for the Monarchs.
Jack Blake with the brace tonight, 2 goals. And give credit to Kalen Ryden, steps up and gets the assist as he plays that one beautifully to Jack Blake.
As we see here, Irvin Parra is down injured, but when you are coming in for a tackle like that, you can't come in wild. You have to come in with some type of intent to win the ball, not just kicking wildly, and Parra puts himself in this situation.
We still got a player down. And a lot of chatter between the bench and the Monarchs 11 out on the pitch. Looks like calm has been restored as we're now in the 98th minutes of 96 announced. I can't imagine there's much more than just a quick touch of the ball, and this one's gonna be over. Our 4th official having a conversation with our center referee. This ball's gonna be rolled on the pitch. Give the Monarchs credit.
Never say
Not
die.
what you wanted to see. But they're gonna, instead of giving up all 3 points, they're gonna walk away with a point in this match. And that is all she wrote here at Zions Bank Stadium. A almost 9 minutes of soccer played, and we end in a 2-2 tie between these two sides.
And Las Vegas is gonna feel very hard done by this result. They played a great match tonight, but the Monarchs are just scrappy enough to be able to pull out the final goal and get 1 point out of this hard-fought game.
And hard fought it was. To walk away with that 1 point is huge because we talked about it. All 7 points essentially separated 4th and 14th. And to drop 3 points, especially at home, that messes you up in the playoff
It
race.
definitely does. It drops you down the table by having that 1 point. We talked about this earlier. I was on the 2009 championship team. They squeezed into the playoffs by 1 point that year, Landon. So every point matters at this point, at this time in the season, and not the result they wanted, but at the end of the day, it is still a point, and you're moving forward.
And moving forward, both teams are moving forward and still have an opportunity. This does not mess up this Las Vegas side. We'll talk about standings here after our first break, and we'll come back with final thoughts here shortly. America First Credit Union, ensuring the financial health of local families and businesses for 80 years. Tonight's match is presented by Steward Healthcare. Steward, world-class healthcare where you live. Visit steward.org. Mountain America, start preparing for your future today with Picture Perfect savings accounts from Mountain America. They offer term deposits, youth accounts, retirement savings, and more. Visit macu.com. For banking that always puts the best team on the pitch, Zions Bank is for you.
A lot can happen when your sidekick is a dog.
I got this.
That's why you use Zelle in the Mountain America app. It makes sending and receiving money fast and easy. So Kicker and I can keep the adventure going.
Zelle is now in the Mountain America mobile app. Quickly send and receive money from almost anyone with a bank account in the U.S.
Kicker, my sleeping bag.
I've got this.
All with the convenience and security of the Mountain America app.
For the past 42 years, and with over 28 million sold, more people have put their hard-earned money on a Ford F-Series truck than any other pickup in America. Yeah, I'd say that's money well spent. It's Ford Truck Month, America. Time to join the stampede.
Now get a Ford F-150 with 0 for 72 financing plus $1,000 trade assist cash, or get over $13,000 in total savings.
Welcome into the beautiful Zions Bank Stadium here in Harriman City. Brody inside the 18. Brody shot and a goal! Andrew Brody.
Blake takes the shot and he hammered it home.
Back here live at Zions Bank Stadium, a 2-2 draw between Las Vegas Lights and the Real Monarchs. David, you couldn't have scripted it any better of a finish for the Monarchs as they were able to get a point back, but that's not the way you, if you were Hamas and Olave, you'd want to script a game.
Great work from the Monarchs to get themselves back into the game tonight, but not their best game at this point in the season. You expected a little bit better from them, but hey, they had a down night. They still got out of here with 1 point, which I think says a lot about their character. They were having a down night. They clawed their way back in and got out of here with a point. So that says a lot about them.
If you're Las Vegas, that has to feel frustrating. Has to be a frustrating night for you. Feeling like you're going to walk away with all 3 points and really walking away with just that one, and kind of a tough fought battle towards the end as multiple players went down. We had a few players cramping. That's not the way you want to start 4 games in 11 days.
It was a very well-played game by Las Vegas. They got that early goal. They sat in their 2 defensive lines, and they were very hard to break down. But at the end of the day, the Monarchs were able to break them down. So, yes, the Las Vegas can feel very hard done, but they move on to the next match. Like you said, they have 4 games in 11 days. The Monarchs, they had an emotional letdown after the hard game on Friday night. Now, as Las Vegas moves into their next game, will the same thing happen to them?
And the Monarchs have to quickly forget about this game as well, as they're on the road against Los Dos on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. That's a quick turnaround for them, and they now have to forget 2 real home draws. And that's something they're going to be frustrated with. I know after against OKC, I heard it from multiple players and Hamas and Olave, it felt like they needed to get 3 points in that game. Now they're going to feel like they walked away with only 2 points in 2 games at home, and that's not the results you need if you want to be a playoff team.
Definitely not. But the good news is that you're going into a Los Dos team that is very beatable, and that's got to be good for the Monarchs. They can go on the road and they can get some points from this team.
But one of the challenges that they're going to face, as well as Las Vegas, is the Western Conference is so tight. Like we mentioned, from 4th to 14th, essentially 7 points. And I'd have to look at an updated standings. But that's fluctuating. Any given night, you could almost drop from in the playoffs to out of the playoffs. You have to be very careful, and especially taking care of home games, as the Monarchs will be back home here in 2 Saturdays, not this Saturday where they travel to Los Dos to play the Galaxy, at 8 p.m., and then back home here against the Portland Timbers 2 on the 14th. Then a very winnable game against Tacoma Defiance, Rio Grande Valley, Reno 1868, and then to finish it off into October 5th, Austin Bold at 1 p.m. So some challenging games, but some very winnable games and some points to capture and must-wins for the Monarchs.
Definitely, and like you said, this Western Conference is so close, so every game is vital. A draw, a win, whatever it is, they need the points to stay in the playoff race.
From all our crew here at Zions Bank Stadium, from our production team that makes this possible, David Horsheim, Landon South, we'll catch you in 2 weeks here at Zions Bank Stadium.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.